Hook. A tiger can leap nearly 30 feet in a single bound, bring down prey 5 times its own weight, and disappear completely into dense forest despite weighing over 600 pounds. It is the largest wild cat on Earth, and it hunts entirely alone, in silence, with a success rate that shames every other land predator. But here is the fact that changes everything. There are more tigers living in captivity in the United States alone than there are wild tigers left on the entire planet. The animal we call the king of the jungle is vanishing so fast that scientists warn it could be functionally extinct in the wild within decades. Stay until the end, because the reason tigers are disappearing is not the one you think. The world's largest cat. Tigers are the largest members of the cat family, and the variation between subspecies is extraordinary. The Siberian tiger, also called the Amur tiger, is the biggest. Adult males can weigh over 660 pounds and measure more than 10 feet from nose to tail. The Bengal tiger, the most numerous subspecies, is slightly smaller but still capable of reaching 500 pounds. There are 6 surviving subspecies of tiger: Bengal, Siberian, Sumatran, Malayan, Indochinese, and South China, with the South China tiger considered functionally extinct in the wild. 3 subspecies, the Bali, Javan, and Caspian tigers, went extinct in the 20th century alone. Unlike lions, which are social and live in groups, tigers are solitary by nature. Each adult tiger maintains a territory it defends fiercely against rivals of the same sex. These territories are enormous. A single male Siberian tiger may patrol an area of over 400 square miles. Everything about the tiger is built for one purpose: to hunt alone and to hunt perfectly. The perfect solo hunter. Tigers are ambush predators, and they have evolved into the most refined killing machines in the terrestrial animal kingdom. Unlike cheetahs that rely on speed or wolves that hunt in coordinated packs, tigers depend on stealth, patience, and explosive power. A tiger will stalk prey for hours, sometimes covering miles in near total silence, freezing in place whenever the target looks up, using vegetation, terrain, and wind direction to approach without being detected. Their striped coat is not just decorative. The pattern breaks up their outline in dappled forest light, making them effectively invisible in tall grass and dense jungle. When the moment is right, a tiger charges from as close as possible, usually within 30 to 50 feet, and closes the gap in under a second. The kill is delivered with a bite to the throat or the back of the neck, collapsing the windpipe or severing the spinal cord. It is precise, calculated, and almost always fatal on the first attempt. Tigers succeed in roughly 1 in 10 to 1 in 20 hunts, but when they do strike, the outcome is rarely in doubt. Territory and the language of tigers. Tigers are solitary, but they are far from silent. They communicate through an elaborate system of scent marks, vocalizations, and visual signals that allow them to maintain awareness of each other across vast territories without ever needing to meet. A tiger marks its territory by spraying scent on trees and rocks, leaving scratch marks on bark, and depositing feces in prominent locations. These marks carry extraordinary amounts of information: the age, sex, reproductive status, and identity of the individual who left them. Other tigers read these marks the way we read text messages, instantly understanding who passed through and when. Tigers also vocalize in ways most people never associate with big cats. Their roar can be heard up to 2 miles away, but they also produce a unique sound called a chuff, a soft, breathy puff, used as a friendly greeting between individuals who know each other. And most remarkably, tigers can communicate using infrasound frequencies below human hearing that can travel for miles through dense forest, allowing them to coordinate without ever being seen or heard by prey. Cubs and the odds against survival. A tigress gives birth to a litter of 2 to 4 cubs after a gestation period of around 100 days. The cubs are born blind and completely helpless, weighing only about 2 to 3 pounds. They depend entirely on their mother for the first several months of life, nursing until they are around 6 months old and learning to hunt by observation for up to 2 years. The mortality rate for tiger cubs is devastating. Up to half of all cubs born in the wild do not survive their first year. They fall to predators, leopards, wild dogs, and even other tigers when their mother is away hunting. Flooding, starvation during lean seasons, and disease take further tolls. Male tigers are a particular threat, Unlike lions, where infanticide by incoming males is common but somewhat predictable, male tigers will kill cubs they encounter without warning, even cubs they may have fathered. A tigress must be constantly vigilant, frequently moving her cubs to new den sites to avoid detection. The bond between a tigress and her cubs is one of the most intense and tender relationships in the animal kingdom, and one of the most fragile. Tigers versus the competition. Tigers are apex predators, but they do not exist in a vacuum. In their range, they share territory with animals capable of killing them, and the interactions between tigers and their competitors reveal just how physically extraordinary these cats really are. In India, tigers regularly encounter wild elephants, gaur, the largest wild cattle species on Earth, weighing up to 3,000 pounds, and sloth bears, which are notoriously aggressive. Tigers have been documented successfully killing gaur and adult water buffalo weighing over twice their own body weight, feats of strength almost unparalleled in the cat family. Crocodiles are perhaps the tiger's most dangerous competitor. In riverine habitats, tigers and mugger crocodiles frequently clash over carcasses and territory, with outcomes going both ways depending on size and circumstance. Leopards, which share much of the tiger's range, are subordinate to tigers and will abandon kills and retreat when a tiger approaches. But perhaps the most dangerous thing a tiger will ever face is another tiger. Territorial disputes between males are brutal, prolonged, and frequently fatal for one or both participants. Why tigers are vanishing. At the beginning of the 20th century, there were an estimated 100,000 wild tigers across Asia. Today, the most optimistic counts put the global wild tiger population at around 4,500 individuals. In just over 100 years, we have eliminated 95% of the world's wild tigers. The causes are well understood and deeply depressing. Habitat destruction is the primary driver. As forests across India, Southeast Asia, and Russia have been cleared for agriculture, logging, and human settlement, tiger territories have been fragmented into isolated patches too small to support viable populations. Tigers need vast, connected landscapes to find mates, establish territories, and maintain genetic diversity. When those connections are severed, local populations collapse. Poaching is the second major threat. Tiger bones, skin, and organs are highly valued in traditional Asian medicine markets, commanding prices that make a single tiger worth tens of thousands of dollars to poachers operating in impoverished rural communities. Despite international bans, the illegal trade in tiger parts continues to drive targeted killing across the animal's range. The shocking captivity crisis. Here is the statistic that stops most people cold. There are an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 tigers living in captivity in the United States alone, kept in zoos, sanctuaries, private collections, and backyards. That number exceeds the entire wild tiger population on Earth. America has no comprehensive federal registry of captive tigers, making the exact number impossible to determine. For decades, it was legal in many states to own a tiger as a private pet, and thousands of individuals took advantage of that. The 2022 Big Cat Public Safety Act finally banned private ownership of tigers and other big cats in the United States. But the existing population of captive tigers, most of which have no conservation value due to mixed subspecies breeding, will live out their lives in facilities of wildly varying quality. Meanwhile, in the wild, the clock is ticking. Conservation programs, anti-poaching initiatives, and habitat corridors are producing results in some regions. India's tiger population has grown significantly over the past 2 decades, but the overall trajectory remains deeply concerning. What the tiger teaches us. The tiger is the most powerful symbol of wildness that still walks the earth. It requires vast, undisturbed forest, abundant prey, and freedom from human persecution to survive. Where tigers exist in healthy numbers, entire ecosystems are healthier, because the presence of an apex predator regulates prey populations, which in turn shapes vegetation, water systems, and biodiversity across the landscape. Saving tigers is not just about saving one magnificent animal. It is about preserving the complex, irreplaceable web of life that tigers anchor. Every forest corridor protected for tigers protects hundreds of other species. Every anti-poaching patrol that keeps a tigress alive allows her to raise cubs that will hold territories for decades. The tiger has survived ice ages, continental drift, and millions of years of evolutionary pressure. The only thing it cannot survive is us, unless we choose differently. And that choice, unlike the tiger's hunt, does not require silence, patience, or perfect timing. It only requires will. Outro. Tigers are running out of time, but they are not gone yet. If this video gave you a new respect for the world's greatest wild cat, hit like and subscribe. There is a lot more of the natural world waiting for you here.